How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, Amanda's going to show you how to make fake guts. Firstly, you'll need plastic wrap. You can find this in your kitchen or at your local supermarket. Nextly, you will need scar wax. Amanda has a tutorial on how to make scar wax. The link will be down in the description below. You'll need yellow and red scar wax. And if any of you are familiar with Amanda's homemade scar wax recipe, you'll immediately notice that the texture is different. This scar wax is very sticky and stretchy, and usually the homemade scar wax looks very dense, almost like pizza dough. And the reason for that is when you mix the petroleum jelly in the flour, you're going to want to add more petroleum jelly to give the guts that fleshy, gunky, fatty look to it. And if you don't have homemade scar wax, or scar wax in general, you can always use yellow or red dough or clay as a substitute. You will need cotton balls. You will need a stapler. Next, you will need a glue stick. You will need any type of tool to handle the wax and spread it across the plastic wrap. And lastly, you will need some fake blood. So first, you will need to cut out a piece of plastic wrap. About this big. Next, you are going to want to take your scar wax and spread it out across the middle of the plastic wrap. So you're going to want to spread out the yellow and red scar wax in random places. It doesn't matter where it is exactly, as long as it takes up the center of the plastic wrap. Also, since this scar wax is pretty sticky, it tends to lay down on the plastic fairly easily. If you have more of a solidified scar wax, it has more trouble staying in place typically. When you add the red scar wax onto the plastic, it doesn't matter if it touches a yellow scar wax. It's okay if they mix together. Now that you have successfully placed the scar wax onto the plastic wrap, you're going to take some cotton balls and you're going to break pieces off of the cotton ball and apply it onto the plastic wrap. You can apply it to places where there are still plastic showing, or you can apply it directly onto the scar wax. It's up to you. And in terms of how big of a piece to break off of the cotton ball, that's up to you as well. You can break big pieces off or small pieces off. Now that she's applied the cotton balls, you're going to want to apply blood onto the center of the wrap. You're going to want to make sure that the blood soaks nicely into the cotton balls. You'd want to do this due to the fact that you want to give the guts a blood clotty look, so be sure that the blood soaks nicely into the cotton balls. Now, when it comes to the topic on whether or not to add blood to the scar wax as well, it's completely dependent on what type of intestine you're trying to create. If you're trying to create a darker looking intestine, you're going to want to apply blood onto the scar wax as well, due to the fact that once it's wrapped up and closed, it's going to have a very blood clotty, dark look to it, which is what you'd be aiming for. If you're looking for a lighter tone intestine, you'd want to only apply it onto the cotton, due to the fact that once you wrap it up, you'll have a very translucent and transparent look to it, and you'll be able to see more of the fatty nature of what's going on inside. Now that she is done adding the blood, she is going to roll up the plastic wrap. And when you roll up the plastic wrap, be sure to do it tightly so that it can stay compact. And before you roll your last piece of plastic wrap, you're going to want to grab your glue stick and you're going to want to apply it to the last piece of plastic wrap. Now you're going to take the loose ends of the plastic wrap, fold it down, and you're going to staple it. Now that looks disgusting, and as you can see, this particular gut is see-through and it's a bit transparent. It has a very fatty look to it, and that's due to the fact that Amanda only applied blood onto the cotton, which gives it a very light tone and transparent look. When Amanda makes a bunch of guts, she likes to have an even ratio of light guts and dark guts, and in order to achieve darker guts, she would just have to apply the blood to not only the cotton but to the scar wax around it. So we're going to show you an example of what she would do differently in order to achieve a darker looking gut. So now Amanda's going to show you how to make a darker piece of intestine. So you're going to once again want to grab a piece of plastic wrap. Now you're going to once again take your scar wax and start to apply the scar wax onto the middle of the plastic sheet. But when you do it for a darker toned intestine, you want to be sure to put very light layers onto the middle of the plastic sheet. And the reason for this is if you make the layers too thick, the blood won't come through as much when you roll it up, and you would inadvertently make it look lighter from the outside like the first intestine that Amanda made. So you want to be sure to put light layers of scar wax onto the middle of the sheet so that the blood really comes through when you roll it up. So that should be enough scar wax for the darker toned intestine. So now what you're going to want to do is once again grab some of your cotton balls, and this time you're going to want to add a bit more cotton onto the scar wax due to the fact that you want it to soak up all of the blood that you apply to it so that it can have more of that darker cloddy look. So feel free to really lay it on with the amount of cotton that you put onto the plastic wrap. And once again, you could take big pieces of cotton balls, small pieces of cotton balls, it really doesn't matter as long as you spread it out evenly and make sure that it absorbs a lot of the blood so that it can have that darker look, along with coating the scar wax of blood so that when you roll it up, you can have a dark looking intestine. Now that she has successfully finished putting the cotton on, she's going to now want to apply fake blood. Now for a darker intestine, you're going to want to be a little more heavy with the amount of fake blood you put onto the sheet of plastic. You want to be sure that the cotton balls absorb a lot of the fake blood and really lay it on for that darker, blood clotty look that you're aiming for. So now that she has added all of the fake blood, she's now going to tightly roll up the plastic wrap. Now she is going to take her glue stick and seal the edges. So now she's going to take the ends of the intestine and staple it. As you can see, this is a much darker piece of intestine in comparison to the first one we made. This is all due to the fact that the blood is able to easily flow through it because there is a lack of scar wax blocking it. So the blood is able to reach the top to give it that really blood clotty look. So if you're aiming for a darker looking intestine or gut, remember to be light on the scar wax and to add more blood. And here are the intestines that we made side by side, and as you can see, the one that we just made is a lot darker than the first one. But like Amanda said previously, when it comes to the guts that she makes, she likes to have a happy medium between lighter ones and darker ones. And another thing that she likes to have a happy medium between is thicker ones and skinnier ones, and that's completely up to you. How many thick ones you'd like, or how many skinnier ones you'd like. And it really adds to it when you add fake blood on the intestines. So that is how Amanda makes fake guts. As a reminder, the materials used to make these fake guts are perishable, so be sure not to keep them hanging around too long after its creation. If you guys would like to see Amanda's fake guts used in an effect format, please be sure to check out her The Guts Effect time lapse. There will be a link in the description below if you're interested in seeing that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.